The following is a presentation of the Arizona Cardinals Broadcast Network.
Flags flying half-staff outside University of Phoenix Stadium in honor of the life and legacy of Senator John McCain. Eulogized today, as Larry told his kids, McCain's legacy will outlive us all as we go to the video board.
The wisdom, justice, and goodness of its people. I loved it because it was not just a place, but an idea, a cause worth fighting for. My country saved me, and I cannot forget it. And I will fight for her as long as I draw breath, so help me God.
Arizona, the United States, and the world will never be the same without the voice of Senator John McCain. All of us at the Arizona Cardinals extend our deepest condolences to his wife, Cindy, and their entire family. The world was a better place with Senator John McCain in it, and we all mourn his loss. We now ask that you join us in a moment of silence. Thank you. Performing tonight's national anthem, please welcome singer-songwriter and country music artist, Arizona's own Ashley Wineland.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, Ashley Wineland.
Arizona Cardinals Preseason Football is brought to you by University of Phoenix, the official education partner of the Cardinals. By Dignity Health. Hello, human kindness. By Desert Financial Credit Union. Wherever life takes you, we have your back. And by Hyundai, proud partner of the Cardinals.
It's last call for preseason football. Make a play, make the team. Who's going to get a big red rose from the head coach tonight? It is reality TV in more ways than one. Ron Wolf, yours truly, Paul Calvisian. I mean, Wolf, it is reality. Jobs are on the line. And the reality is we're not going to see the first-round rookie Josh Rosen at quarterback either tonight.
Yeah, that's right, Paulie. You know, listen, every young quarterback needs three things: reps, reps, and more reps, Paulie. I would have liked to have seen Josh Rosen get 15 to 25 reps somewhere in there. Listen, Steve Wilks knows what it is that he's doing, obviously, and he also knows he's got to get his third-string quarterback some reps as well, whether that's Mike Glennon or Charles Canal.
Let's go down to the sidelines and Lisa Matthews.
Yeah, guys, last Sunday we saw one of the Valley's very own running back, DJ Foster, go down in Dallas, and on Monday it was confirmed a torn ACL and already a shakeup in the presumed 53-man roster. Now, it gives opportunity for second-year running back TJ Logan. As you can remember, he missed all of his rookie season with a wrist injury, but tonight, an opportunity to crack the 53.
No doubt about that, Lisa. As they say, preseason games might not count, but they most certainly matter. And there are a number of position groups who are absolutely in flux right now and awaiting a final performance tonight before a final decision is rendered.
What's amazing, Paulie, there's going to be some guy that makes this team, makes the 53 for the Arizona Cardinals, and you watch, he's going to have a 10 and 12-year career because he made this team. There's going to be other guys that should have made the team or could have made the team and could have had a 10 and 12-year career, but they just couldn't get that first break. Tonight, it begins.
Well, guess what? You're not going to see the first teamers tonight, so they're going to get plenty of reps. The opportunity is there. Starting with the kicker, Matt McCrane, a 53-yarder, a 54-yard field goal, going to be handling all the kicking duties tonight, and we are underway. And taking the kickoff is Adam Pac-Man Jones, just signed the 12-year veteran who turns 35 next month, and he is stacked up at the 20. Adam Pac-Man Jones, now a member of the Broncos.
Boy, did you see the desperation right there on the kickoff cover coming down the field?
Well, the defense has been absolutely stellar in the preseason. A staggering 16 takeaways. They're plus 15 in the preseason.
Yeah, once again, you've got to have an aggressive scheme. Al Holcomb has that scheme, but you've got to have fast players and physical players, and the Cardinals have that as well.
They believe there is a cause and effect between what they're doing in practice, the mentality the coaches are preaching, and the production when it comes to takeaways. 8 last week in that win against Dallas. As the run play to start the game, D'Angelo Henderson, the ball carrier, and he goes nowhere.
Boy, did you see who was at the bottom of that pile, came out of there kicking and grinning? Gerald Hodges. Boy, he really has played well on the inside, Paulie. Done a great job getting in on hits.
We just keep calling his name in the preseason. He's like Josh Bynes a year ago. He shows up, he learns the defense in like half a week, and then just starts making plays. A loss of 1, second down and 11 just underway as the Cardinals show blitz off the edge. Here it comes, and a run play this time to the near side. Cutting it back, Henderson making 2 men miss, and it'll be a couple yards shy of a first down. Nice run finding his way there.
Boy, that is exactly what you want when you run that tackle zone. You want to get a hat-on-a-hat play side and somewhere build the wall backside where suddenly that seam forms. And it's one of the reasons why you've got to have a running back that has great vision.
Chad Kelly is now the backup quarterback behind Case Keenum. He started camp 3rd string. He's already elevated himself as the backup. The big question looming out there, did they want experience as a backup? This is really his first real action. Last year he was injured. 3rd down and 3, gets rid of it quickly. A block for the receiver, ends belted out of bounds as Tim Patrick, River Craycraft make it with the catch and the first down.
Well, trips formation to the left of Kelly. Just trying to get the ball out of his hand quickly right there. Throw that wide receiver screen. The Cardinals only rush 4. They're playing a zone behind it. Looked like there was some confusion in the secondary, and that's not unusual because you got a lot of guys that are mixed matched out there tonight.
Well, that's a gain of 13, and the Broncos move the chains offset eye. Cardinals defense, Hassan Reddick getting the start of this one. Otherwise, it's all second teamers. Turn and the give. Reddick misses, and a lane to run through across the 45 to the 47-yard line. It's Henderson again.
Boy, what a beautiful thing right there, right? Just looking at that Connor Olaf being run. Hassan Reddick getting a little grease down low. That's what you want to see. A guy that needs reps off the ball. He's played on the line an awful lot. Played on the line at Temple. Needs to play off the ball back in space and learn how to do that. That's not an easy transition.
Denver with a 2nd down and manageable here. With a man in motion, 2nd and 3. Kelly with a give and dancing in the backfield and then plowing forward for a first down is Henderson again. And the Cardinals had issues stopping the run against New Orleans to start the game, and the same thing here right off the bat.
No, it's all about gap integrity across the board. Hassan Reddick certainly a player to watch, Paulie. This is a guy, once again, that's got to make that transition. An incredible athlete, a guy that wants to be good. He cares about it. It's important to him. He's going to learn the position. It's just a tough transition from playing on the line to playing off the ball in space.
They get first down and 10. No score early in the game. Dave Williams, the running back. Play action. Kelly on a boot to the right. Throws, caught. Blocker ahead of the receivers across the 40. Dragging men is Jordan Leslie. And it'll be a gain of 7.
See, it's so interesting, the dynamic in a football game. When you can run the football, Paulie, now all of a sudden the entire playbook opens up to you. And you can see right there a little bootleg from the Denver Broncos. Long has that been a staple in their offense. Head coaches have come and gone. Offensive coordinators have come and gone. But the bootleg in particular off the tackle zone started by the Denver Broncos and Alex Gibbs years ago.
Second down and 3. The Cardinals 39, and an inside handoff out of the gun. The running back straight up the A-gap is Dave Williams again. And pretty much just a straight-ahead run game so far.
Yeah, this is it right here. I mean, look at, they're lining up and challenging that front 7 of the Arizona Cardinals. Take a look at Hassan Reddick. Get off the block. Got to be more downhill right there. You're playing inside. You see that, Paulie? A little late reading that play and coming downhill.
And that's exactly why he's getting the reps tonight.
That's exactly right, Paulie.
He's got to read and react. We know he's a fast athlete. He's got to be a fast player.
Not only that, Paulie, you're going to go downhill, come down with a furrow, bro.
First down and 10 from the 35. Coming up for a block, Zeke Turner, the undrafted safety out of UW. He's one of those guys trying for the back end, maybe between teams and some of the nickel and dime packages. He might find a role in this team.
Boy, that is, Zeke Turner is a tweener. This is a guy that the Cardinals really like, a guy that can play strong safety or a guy that can walk down in the box and be that box safety, play linebacker. He's getting a real look here tonight.
2 receivers either side. It is second down and 6. Kelly still directing some traffic, marking out some signals. To the air. Instead of the clean pocket, he's going to run. He tucks it, runs it, and slides just shy of the first down marker.
Well, I don't know if you saw that, Paulie. They went ahead and actually motioned out of the backfield David Williams all the way to the sideline. And he just stood there and looked at Kelly, looked at the quarterback. The Cardinals obviously playing zone. If you notice, Paulie, they didn't motion anybody with him. So they're playing zone, and that told Kelly what he had. That looked like a design quarterback draw to me.
It did. Delayed draw by the quarterback. 1 yard shy of the first down. And the Cardinals loading the line of scrimmage, a power formation to the left for the Broncos. And Kelly looking, flush to his right, flag flies, and the ball is caught for a first down, but that's pending the flag.
Holding, offense, number 77, 10-yard penalty, replay, third down.
Yeah, look at that right there. You can clearly see Alec James being held. It's a good call by the official. That's one that's going to be called every time, Paulie. You got that jersey, and you got a hold of it, and you're out in the middle of nowhere, and you're yanking on it? Yeah.
And
hopefully the official, they're not going to miss that, Paul.
Yeah, the official has a direct line of sight to it as well. So make it third down and 11 now. Alec James, the 2-time All-Big Ten performer, undrafted out of Wisconsin. Jaquez Smith is the other defensive end.
Look out.
Cardinals have not been shy about putting some blitzes on film. Every single game there's been a corner blitz. And here comes Benet Ben Wicker in a delayed blitz over the middle and picked off as Jaquez Smith at the 40. He's across the 50 and then is dragged down as a flag comes flying. But there you go, takeaway number 17. The Cardinals are plus 16 in the preseason.
Well, what do you say, Paulie? We just go ahead and we put 7 guys on the line of scrimmage. We'll just walk them all up there, put them on the line of scrimmage, and then fire our gun. It looked as though the Cardinals brought 6 guys on this rush. Actually dropped them off. You can see it right there. 5.
There is no foul
7 guys.
For illegal low block. The play stands as called. First down, Arizona.
They had 7 guys on the line, dropped 2 of them out, a fire zone, and boy, did that work like a charm.
As little as the Cardinals have shown on offense in terms of putting stuff on film, because that's always the question in the preseason. Do you or do you not show what you have in your arsenal? Do you or do you not make a defense or the opposing side of the ball prepare for what you're showing in the preseason? Mike McCoy has kept it very vanilla so far.
A pretty basic fire zone there from Al Holcomb.
Here we go. Bryce Butler is one of the receivers, and the running back Sherman Beatty, and he's just putting the pads down, going straight across the line of scrimmage, a gain of 3 on first down.
I love that as well. You just line up right there, right? And all of a sudden, here you come. You're going to run the inside zone. See Mike Glennon right here. Hasn't been super impressive, to say the least, here in preseason, but a guy that I do believe is going to make this team.
22 career starts, 4 with Chicago a year ago. Started 13 games as a rookie with Tampa. Right now, 3rd on the depth chart. And on second down, it's a give to Beatty again, this time off right tackle. This time he's just pushing the pile for a first down. That's a good push by the Cardinals O-line.
Well, what a beautiful thing that is right there. That is the counter, the closest thing you're going to see to the counter tray. You go ahead and you pull the center, and then you pull the tight end. You kick out the end man, the tight end goes up on the backer. And you can see Evan Babe right there actually doing a great job from left guard.
Well, this second team O-line, Wolf, I mean, they are competing for spots in the final 53. You got Babe, you got Munyer, Will Holton's out there as Sherman Beatty stacked up after a gain of 2. There's no doubt that the O-line, the back end of that room, is still in flux. There are still jobs to be secured.
Really interesting, Evan Babe right there. You got to look at him. He's playing left guard. Center is where he played, of course, last week after Daniel Munyer had that tough game in preseason game number 1. Evan Babe is a guy that can move between center and guard.
Yeah, Munyer getting another crack at the center position, and the shotgun snap is on the money. Second down at 7. Glennon to the left flat. It's caught, and then upended is the rookie tight end Andrew Ballard. A little slow to get up after a gain of 4.
You know, honestly, right there, to me, Paulie, not a great read from Mike Glennon, only because, again, Voller was covered. There was a guy right there, and he chose to actually go low as opposed to go up and swat the ball down.
You got Voller, you got Alec Bloom, Bryce Williams, 3 young tight ends. Seeing if they can secure 1 spot behind Jermaine Gresham, Ricky Seals-Jones, and Gabe Holmes on 3rd and 5. Glennon, pressure, throws, and it's caught. Trent Sherfield inside the 5. That's how you go out and make a statement, by making a catch like that.
Boy, that is a great corner route by Trent Sherfield. I love it. You got the #1 receiver to the side. You go ahead and have him run a 9 route, and then here comes the corner, Sherfield behind the route by Bryce Butler. That is a great read and a great throw by Mike Glennon.
27-yard pass play puts the Cardinals 1st and goal at Denver's 3.
Little touch by Mike Glennon.
As Beatty comes into the backfield flanking Glennon. Glennon's going to give it to Beatty. He's trying the left side, and then he is punished at the 2-yard line and dumped.
Boy, that looked promising at first, didn't it? Beatty was doing so well. Looked like, my goodness, there was a crevice there, and there was a crack, and boom, that thing closed down quickly. It's funny the way you play this game, the blood sport. It will close a gap quickly.
So far in the preseason, when the Cardinals have needed the tough yards, they have run left. Now that's been behind Mike Iupati and DJ Humphries, but they elected to do the same there with the second team O-line in. That'll put the ball at the 2, 2nd and goal, and trips to the right. 3 receivers there, maybe fighting for 2 spots in this roster. A little confusion. Glennon can't get the formation the way he wants it, and he calls timeout. Cardinals threatening, no score from University of Phoenix Stadium.
Arizona.
All right, the preseason finale at University of Phoenix Stadium. Paul Calvisi, Ron Wolfley, no score. Cardinals threatening. And think about it, Wolf, when this offseason started, the Cardinals didn't have a single quarterback under contract. And now there's speculation teams might be calling the Cardinals to try and trade for a backup quarterback. They're so loaded.
Just absolutely incredible. Sam Bradford, of course, has been so impressive here in training camp and into the preseason. But it's this guy right here, Paulie. Josh Rosen, the fact that you actually got him number 10 overall, it's just an incredible acquisition to be able to get Josh Rosen, maybe the most NFL-ready quarterback.
Gave him a 3rd and 5th rounder to move up for a future franchise quarterback as the pass goes into the end zone for a Cardinals touchdown. As the Mike Glennon and Greg Little hook up on the slant for 6.
Boy, what a beautiful thing that is right there. One of these plays, that's a little dicey because it could be called for a pick. You got a situation where you've got 2 wide receivers lined up next to each other. Somebody goes out, the other guy comes in. Bryce Butler went out, and Greg Little came in. Well-timed, well-executed touchdown.
The extra point attempt is up, and it is good. 7-0 Cardinals, and that's what Coach Wilkes wants of the receiver position, a little separation. He wants clarity. He wants guys to go out and make up his mind for him when it comes to deciding the final 53. Cardinals on top, 7-0.
Now that was really perfectly executed right there offensively. To have that trips formation to that side, and then you just run that. A lot of times you'll get cornerbacks that will banjo that, Paulie. They'll say, hey, listen, if your guy on the inside comes out, I'll take him. Okay? If not, I got this guy right here. If the guy on the outside comes in, the inside defender will say, I got him. It's a banjo. In other words, you can't be right. They'll zone it right off the snap. That time they were in man, they were not in banjo. That's the reason why that worked as well as it did.
Hey, that Cardinal scoring drive presented by Santan Ford and Gilbert. Santan Ford and the Arizona Cardinals. We are Santan Ford. 7 plays, 45 yards, took 4:11 off the clock. Mike Glennon, 3 for 3, 30 yards, the touchdown. Of course, the big strike, the 27-yarder, the chunk play to Trent Sherfield. As the return man is Adam Pac-Man Jones again. This time he's across the 20 for his cut down at the 25-yard line. We saw, Wolf, that shot of Steve Wilkes working the sideline. I've seen that already in the preseason, being down on the sideline. In fact, typically when there's a running play that ends up in the end zone, he immediately comes over to the O-line first. He starts with the guys on the line of scrimmage, and then he works his way down the sideline from there.
That's his philosophy right there, Paulie. It really is. The physicality is what he demands. Not just what he expects out of his players, it's what he demands out of his players. You're going to bring the bloody knuckles, or you're not going to play on this team.
Think about your own office place. If there's a new boss, you think there's a little extra urgency, intensity? That's exactly the way it is in the Cardinals locker room. As that pass is incomplete on 1st and 10, Chad Kelly wide of the mark, the intended receiver Tim Patrick. I mean, well, this is the way guys make their living. They come in, no one has any equity built up with a new head coach or a new staff. The intensity, the tempo of practice throughout the month of August.
Yeah, it's just incredible, some of the stuff that Steve Wilkes has done in practice, and we've witnessed it. Take the ball, stick it on the 10, and say, give me my #1 offense, #1 defense, live goal line for 3 plays, and then go right back to practice.
I mean, your field cred has been on the line, and that's the way he intends it. As the Cardinals stuff out that run play, Dave Williams trying the right side before he's gang tackled.
See right there, you've got to set the edge. Whenever you defend the tackle zone, the edge is so critical. You have to set the edge, and then everyone's got to have gap discipline across the board. That time, they had it. That's the reason why the play didn't work very well.
Gain of 3, 3rd down and 7. Kelly's the one who's gone up the depth chart for the Broncos here in the preseason out of Ole Miss. Injured last year, plenty of time. Throws underneath, crossing pattern. The receiver is met, absolutely belted. Dave Williams, the running back, he is met by Zeke Turner and dropped.
Well, there it is. That's the physicality that Coach Wilkes wants, demands. Right there, Tampa 2 being played. 2 safeties high, drop the Mike Backer deep down the middle of the field, hunting up the #2 receiver. to his side. A great play by Zeke Turner on the backside of cover 2 for Tampa 2.
He's got the size of a Dale Buchanan, 6'2", 224. Brings a big hit as Corey Willis is the Cardinals return man on the punt. Speaking of getting hit, he is taken down near the 15-yard line. Good intensity. Jobs are on the line. Might be preseason game number 4, but you can hear it. 7-0 Cardinals in the lead. The latter stages of the first quarter.
Welcome back, everyone. Lisa Matthews here with you. Cardinals up 7-0. 2 minutes, 19 seconds left in the first. Your Arizona Ford dealers Kick to Win sweepstakes is back for the 2018 season. You could win a 2-year lease on a 2018 Ford F-150. Just visit buyfordnow.com and stay tuned for information and registration details. Well, every year the Arizona Cardinals give fans the opportunity to get to know the team. And this year, for the 21st annual kickoff luncheon, it was especially unique with all the new coaches and players and new faces. Guests participated in a silent auction that included autographed memorabilia and got to mingle with players and coaches, all while raising funds for Cardinals charities. And you may know these two guys who hosted the event, Wolfley and Calvisi. Guys.
Well, the good news is, Wolf, you did get tackled by Larry Fitzgerald, and the video didn't go viral, unlike last year. So.
Yeah, no doubt, Paulie. I felt good about that.
Do you think he tackled you because of the nickname you put on him years ago? I think he's always held a grudge over Japanese fighting fish.
He does not like it, Paul, which is the reason why I continue to call him that, and the fact that he comes from Pitt.
I tell you what, the coaches are going to like Elijah Penny running for a first down, a gain of 9, and I know you like Elijah Penny.
This is what I love right here, Paulie. Once again, Elijah Penny, I believe, has made this team not only as a fullback, where I believe his future is in the National Football League, but this is what else he can do right here. Put him in the Q position behind the quarterback, pitch him the ball, and let him run the ball in a very physical kind of way. He can be a running back, but he's already shown he can also be your backup fullback, and he's an excellent special teams player.
Now, do you take it personal as a former fullback that he wants to be known as a running back?
Yes.
First down and 10, and here he is again. And this time he lowers the pads and he drives a defender into the turf across the 32.
Have you seen Elijah Penny actually block at the point of attack, Paulie? Have you watched him?
Have I broken down the film? No.
Think of a big, bloody knuckle. This is what I'm telling you right now. This guy throws haymakers on the football field as the fullback. I've seen him do it over and over and over again. Elijah Penny is not afraid to stick his face on.
Well, here's the fullback now. He's an offset eye. Sherman Beatty, the running back, and a play action fake. Lennon, he's going to dump it into the flat. Here's Penny on the run after the catch. But once again, a big collision at the 36. Big collision.
Do you love this right here? This is what you do, Elijah Penny. I mean, in the queue, go ahead, give him the ball. He's stuffing it there. Now all of a sudden you get it out the flat. And he's,
oh, the helmet came off.
Oh my goodness, that is a beautiful thing right there. Mouth guards flying, helmets flying, sweat flying, blood flying. Elijah Penny, make a football team. Playing fullback, playing running back, in the flat, in the queue, on the ISO.
And the second quarter is ready to start 15 minutes before halftime. 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit Geico.com today. Welcome back to our Ford broadcast booth, brought to you by our Arizona Ford dealers. We'll get to that big hit where Elijah Penny delivered the blow in a moment. We got 3rd down and 4 from the 36. Empty set for Glenn in time. He's going to throw down the seam and just ahead of the intended receiver Trent Sherfield, who had an opening between two defenders.
Well, that was really, really nice right there.
How about this, Wolf? Here's the hit you've been waiting for.
Did you hear that, Paulie? Oh, my goodness. You can hear the screaming of the linebackers. Not the Lambs, the linebackers. Oh, that was a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Andy Lee, who's at a Pro Bowl preseason. And this one has great carry, and Adam Pac-Man Jones dancing and making 2 men miss. And Well, it's almost a foregone conclusion these days on virtually any punt in the preseason. There's the yellow hanky.
Yeah, no doubt, Paulie. Great job right there by the Arizona Cardinals on that cover as well. A.J. Howard doing a nice job getting down the field, drawing a penalty. You know, Paulie, I mean, you don't always have to make the play. This is making the play when you draw a penalty.
Illegal block in the back. Return team number 59. It's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down. Timeout.
Don't forget, special teams a big part of the equation to making the final 53.
Paulie, you can go ahead and watch this right here. A.J. Howard. This is A.J. Howard right here. Watch him cover this punt. This is going to be a big plus for him when the coaches watch his film, because he's digging and because he's working so hard. Go ahead, boys. Yeah, that's a block in the back right there. Listen, you don't have to always make the play. If you're hustling like A.J. Howard was, you know what? That's going to be a big plus to the coaches in that special teams meeting.
When the hang time is 4.72 seconds, I mean, guys have a chance to make a play on punt cover. As the Broncos on first down and 10, Kelly flush, now tucks it, runs it across the 15. We got a flag trailing in the backfield. But again, Wolf, as a guy who made his share of teams in your 10 years in the NFL and went to 4 Pro Bowls on special teams,
Holding.
I mean,
Offense, number 71. That penalty is half the distance to goal. Replay. First down.
that was your entry point into the NFL special teams.
No doubt about it, Paulie. That was my in right there, and I'll never forget it. The first kickoff that I covered, I got pushed into the wedge, accidentally, pushed head over heels.
At full speed?
At full speed, and the head coach the next night started the team meeting with that wedge bust and said, this is what we need around here. Paulie, it was an epiphany to me. It was like, are you kidding me? That's all I need to do? And I'm going to make a team?
Kelly out of his own end zone, looking, throwing as he's hit and caught just across the 20 to the 22-yard line, right at the sticks. Jordan Leslie the grab.
The penalty marker down here might be a late hit on Zeke Turner. Doesn't look like it was. Maybe
personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 47. That 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the play. Automatic first down.
So tag on 15 right there.
Look at his helmet right here. Zeke Turner, I believe, uses the helmet. They're going to call it every time you put it right into the middle of him.
Now, would you call that lowering the helmet? No, he hit him with his face mask.
Yeah, there's no way, though, that was a late hit. There's no way. So,
roughing the passer, when in doubt, they'll throw the flag, especially in the preseason, trying to protect the quarterback. No doubt, they'll put the ball at the 37, first down and 10, and the give to the right side out of the I formation. D'Angelo Henderson tripped up.
Yeah, right now, this is good, man. This is reality television, Paul. Make a football team. There are guys that are out there right now that, I kid you not, might go on and have a 10 and 12 year career if they can just make this team. 1 year is what they need to develop. And there's other guys that could make this team, could play 10 or 12 years, that will get cut on Saturday.
If you're not on the job tonight, you most likely secured a job. Coaches want another look at who's out there. The Scooby Rights of the world. Cap Cappy, who comes down the line, and that's where Cap Cappy has to prove himself. We know he can rush the passer.
No doubt.
He's already had a 3-sack game in the preseason. He's got to prove that he can play the run, be reliable, and set the edge.
That's a mentality as well. So much of that setting the edge for a defensive end, for an outside linebacker, whoever's got contained. So much of that is want to.
By the way, the fellas were calling him Sack Cappy in the locker room. Or Cap Sack.
I like it.
You know you're popular, right, Wolf, when you got about 50 nicknames?
Yes.
Third down and a throw out to the flat. It's bobbled and dropped. And the Cardinals with a stop. Did we get a whistle? We did, as the punt team will come out for the Broncos.
Well, guess who made that play right there, too? A.J. Howard. They like this kid. They like this kid a lot. And he has played really, really well, not only in transition on special teams, but also as a safety. We've seen him make some big hits.
He hails from the alma mater of the head coach, Appalachian State. It's Corey Willis, the deep man for the Cardinals. Broncos getting the punt away. Low line drive, and Willis with a chance. No, he's going to call for the fair catch at the 17-yard line. And the Cardinals going to try and extend that lead up 7-0 in the preseason finale, second quarter from University of Phoenix Stadium. Cardinals D coordinator Al Holcomb, 5 years as a linebackers coach in Carolina, shares that same mindset of a Steve Wilks, and it's all about the turnovers, the takeaways. Well, a guy who played for him there, Ben Wickery, I like the way he said it this week when asked about 16 takeaways, now make it 17. He said, you know what it's called? Forcing turnovers.
Yeah, great job by Ben Wickery as well. All of training camp, getting his hands on footballs, sticking his cage right on the football, doing a little blood farming.
Cardinals first down and 10. And they give us the Bannies trying to tear away from a defender across the 20 to the 22, a gain of 4. Don't forget, in the third quarter, Cardinals GM Steve Keim will join us in the booth. Man, we'll be talking some ball, the final 53 with the Cardinals general manager.
Well, the Cardinals once again using a power scheme here, doing a great job of mixing it up. A zone scheme, using the stretch, the tackle zone, the inside zone, and using the power scheme where you have angle blocks, down blocks, pulling the uncovered lineman, kicking out on the end man, kicking out the end man, and not only that, ISOs on fullbacks.
Beatty trying the in gap, but he spun down near the line of scrimmage, maybe a loss of 1. What do you think Mike McCoy's offense will look like in the regular season? It's a big question because it seems to be a big mystery right now.
Yeah, I really do believe it's going to be a run-first offense. I think, you know, when you talk about that, you're talking about a rundown situation of 1st and 10, 2nd and 1 to 6. That's classic rundown in the National Football League. And you know what? Year after year, you see the teams that run the ball the most on 1st and 10. 52, 53, sometimes 54%.
You get 3rd and 6, trips to the left, incomplete to the left. Greg Little calling for a flag, nothing doing. Here comes the punt team.
The Steelers would be one of those teams, Paulie. They run the ball an awful lot, especially in rundown situation, as I said, 1st and 10. And I think the Arizona Cardinals probably around 51%, 52%. Run the ball on 1st down, a horizontal passing attack, not the vertical, the BA, bash and bomb offense, where you ran the ball in between the tackles, use play action to throw the ball down the field. That's not going to be the case any longer.
Isaiah McKenzie, the return man, he's going laterally across the field, trying to turn the corner, and a flag flies across the 30, the 40, into Cardinals territory before he steps out of bounds, and it looks like this one will come back. And getting back to the running offense, as Justin Pugh told us yesterday, number 31 will make you look pretty good as an offensive lineman.
Oh, yeah.
And there's no doubt David Johnson is motivated.
David Johnson wants the rock.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Return team number 35. That's a 10-yard penalty. It'll be first down. Timeout.
All right, Cardinals on top, 7-0, 10.5 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. Lisa Matthews here with you. Cardinals up 7-0 early in the second quarter. Now I'm joined with Larry Fitzgerald. And Larry, you had the honor this morning paying your tribute to Senator John McCain. What was that moment like for you?
I was really nervous, to be honest with you. I mean, when somebody asks you to do something like that, you take a lot of, pride in wanting to make sure you represent him in the best possible light. Somebody who's done so much for this country, so much for this great state of Arizona. And so I just wanted to, pour my heart out and just talk about, what he meant to me and how unlikely the friendship was, but how much I appreciated it.
You had beautiful words to say. Just what was your reaction when you found out that you'd be speaking?
I was blown away. First thing I thought it was why me? And there's no way I was deserving. Joe Biden and Mr. Woods. I mean, these guys have known him for 30+ years and had so many different experiences with him. I'm an athlete and I've had a great relationship with him, but it was much different than the political affiliation that he had with those guys. So it was truly an honor and something that I would cherish for the rest of my life.
He was obviously a big Arizona Cardinals fan. What would he think of this 2018 team?
I think he would be excited about all the turnovers the defense is causing, the explosive plays that the offense has made, the great job kicking the game is done. I mean, I know it's preseason, but this is the foundation. You want to continue to build on the things that you've done successfully in the preseason, and I think he would be happy.
15 years in the league for you. You've been with this organization throughout that time, seen a lot of changes. What can you say stands out about Steve Wilks' era so far?
Well, just how intelligent he is. He did a great job hiring some wonderful coaches, innovative, enthusiastic guys. And, it's been a great, few months just getting to know him and learning from him. And, he always has, great information, like from situational football to great inspirational quotes. I mean, it's something different every day. So, you get excited to go in the team meeting because you never know what's going to come up.
Now, Sam Bradford, he's been in the division for quite some time. What have you learned from your quarterback?
Well, Sam is outstanding. I mean, I don't know if, there's anybody that throws such a precise intermediate passes. I mean, the guys can just flat out throw the football, and we've all seen it throughout the preseason and practice. The guy can really dish it around, and I'm excited where we are as a football team, having David Johnson back, having DJ Humphries back, and getting Jermaine Gresham and Marcus Golden, a couple key components back. It's going to be fun to see everybody kind of working together.
After tonight, preseason is over, and then it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Larry. Any big plans?
No big plans. This is it's an exciting time, but it's also kind of, a sad time. 30+ guys are going to lose their job tomorrow from every single team in the league who've worked so hard to put themselves in position to make the team. But obviously, next Sunday we embark on the beginning of our new season, which is a really exciting time. So, as a player, you kind of, you're happy, but you're sad, it's kind of a weird feeling.
Fitz.
You feeling better?
Oh my gosh.
You feeling better?
Cut.
All right.
Yes, I just had a baby.
See, always a man of the people. Always concerned with someone else. If it isn't Lisa Matthews, it was the official, right? He put the hat back on the side judge there. Yes. We saw earlier in the game. And by the way, Larry turns 35 tomorrow.
Neutral zone infraction.
Is going to be
defense number 97. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
He'll be out of the 18-34 demo. He's going to be 35 years of age, Wolf.
Why did he have to go to Pitt? That's the only problem with Larry Fitzgerald. How in the world did a Minnesota boy go to Pitt?
He proclaimed himself regular season ready, by the way, about a week ago. So obviously sitting this one out.
Goodness.
It's first down and 5 now after the penalty flag, and Kelly boot to the left, throws on the run, caught and then dumped in midair, but it is snagged by the Broncos before Tim Patrick is upended by Rudy Ford.
Well, nice job right there, wasn't it, by Chad Kelly? Just watching him move around, getting out a little bit on the boot. Once again, the Denver Broncos have been able to run the ball here, even though the Cardinals have shored up that gap integrity across the board. Done a much better job here in the second quarter than they did that first quarter. Broncos doing a good job mixing it up with play action.
And especially on this drive, they've been mixing the run and the pass, throwing the flat, and the receiver has met and driven backwards. Dave Williams out of the backfield. By the way, Larry, with his self-deprecating sense of humor, made its way into his eulogy earlier today at Senator McCain's service. And Larry saying, and I quote loosely, Senator McCain was the epitome of physical toughness. I do everything I can to avoid contact. And then he said, Senator McCain ran for president. I run out of bounds. Was Larry's joke. Now, the reality is he's one of the most physical blocking receivers in the game. Agreed?
No doubt about it. He does not want to hear it, but he is.
Second down and 8. Kelly directing traffic and directing a nice drive before we get the whistle and a stop and play. False start.
False start. Offense, number 86. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Of course, we know Larry Legend is moving up the all-time charts. 15th season with the Cardinals, and I mean, he's already among the greats. But when it comes to all-time records and where he stands in terms of the history of the game, it's staggering.
Just incredible, especially the last 3 seasons where he's had over 100 receptions. 15, 14, and 13.
Plenty of time for Kelly, and he finds his man on 2nd and 13 to the 14-yard line. A nice pass and catch to Jordan Leslie, but that was easy. Plenty of time and an open receiver.
Yeah, that was a nice read right there by Chad Kelly. You can see why the Denver Broncos like this kid.
Going up tempo here. First down and throw just out of the reach of the intended receiver, the tight end, Brian Parker. Yeah, well, the question becomes, if you're the Broncos, Wolf, I mean, do you want an experienced backup? Right now, Chad Kelly is your number 2 quarterback behind Case Keenum, and there have been reports out of the NFL Network that they're in the market for an experienced backup, and that guy could potentially be Mike Glennon.
I don't know anything about that, Paulie, but I do know that makes a lot of sense. If your backup is going to be a young guy, it makes sense to have 3 Qs and get some more experience in that room.
Second down and 10 from the 15, a gain of 5. D'Angelo Henderson, sort of a slow developing run play, picks his way, and that'll be 3rd down and manageable.
Now this is a big down right here. Somebody could make a play right here that makes the football team. Right here. Red zone situation, 3rd and 5. Make a play.
2 running backs flanking either side of Kelly out of the gun. Quick hitter, slam, tipped up in the air and incomplete in the end zone. It's like Rudy Ford on the coverage. I'll tell you, if you're looking for a breakout guy this year with all the athleticism, Tim Scott was there. And then Rudy Ford almost came up with the 18 takeaway.
I mean, right there, Tim Scott. That's a heck of a play. Looked like he got the paw in there from the backside on a slant and knocked that thing out. That's exactly what I'm talking about. 3rd and 5, the opportunity to make a play, and Tim Scott did.
The 27-yard field goal attempt. Brandon McManus, the only kicker on the Broncos roster. It is up and it is good. 7-3 Cardinals. There is a cornerback spot that is open, whether it's Tim Scott, whether it's Brandon Williams, whether it's Dietrich Nichols, who has gotten a lot of action here in the first half. 7-3 Cardinals.
The day after every Cardinals win, get 50% off regular menu price pizzas. Use promo code Cardinals50 at papajohns.com.
Welcome back to our Ford broadcast booth, brought to you by Arizona Ford dealers. Wolf, as we near halftime, I couldn't help but notice the gridiron burger is over your right shoulder. All 7 pounds of it.
You got to be kidding me, Paulie.
I mean, would feed a family of 8. Is that what you're going to devour at halftime? Is that why it's over there, or does that have your name on it?
You really got to get a shot of this. It is unbelievable.
Not sure how many calories are contained in that. As Brandon Williams had a notion of bringing it out, he was advised otherwise, and he takes the knee. I think in terms of calorie count on the gridiron burger, it's just infinite. Just put the sideways 8 over there on the label.
Break out the Frank's hot sauce.
With every Cardinals passing touchdown, Wells Fargo donates $500 to local public schools with a passing touchdown for schools program. Wells Fargo established 1852, reestablished 2018 Glennon to Greg Little.
Boy, what a thing of beauty that was right there, Paulie. A trips formation and to run that pick play, and that's what it was. And listen, if they don't call it, Paulie, it wasn't a pick. But that's what that play was, a pick play. And if they don't call it, it worked.
Doesn't matter how many complaints you get from the DBs. First down and 10 for the 25. Glennon on the money at the 40 to Trent Sherfield. That'll be a gain of 17.
Oh, how about this, Mike Glennon right there, showing a little experience as well in the pocket, right? Pulled that ball down at first, went through his progression, and Trent Sherfield flashed. Boy, if there was any doubt right now as to whether or not Trent Sherfield was going to make this team, he's having a heck of a first half here.
I saw him score last week on special teams with the Buck punt recovery in the end zone for a touchdown. Elijah Penny barrels forward across the 45 to the 47-yard line.
Oh, I love this play right here. This is the counter OF used with a tight end. This is a power play, down blocks on the left side of the line of scrimmage. Watch this. You get the kick out on the end man. Now the tight end up on the linebacker, and you got Elijah Penny. You want to tackle Elijah Penny in the hole, Paul? You want to do that? Because I guarantee you right now, you couldn't bring him down with a flat shovel.
235 pounds, second down and 6. We'll say this, the tailbacks love as going running behind him as Glennon stumbles, and then he is spun down at the 40. That'll be a loss of 7, and that was ugly from the get-go.
No, you got Mike Glennon, and you got long limbs, Paul. And when you got long limbs, you know, I mean, all of a sudden sometimes they get amorphous. They get out of whack, and they're long, and you stumble, and yeah, I think you understand what happened on that play.
He is every bit of 6'7". He towers.
You know what I think of when I look at Mike Glennon? I think of a crane. I do.
We'll see what he has in mind here, because it sounds like he's changing the play call on 3rd down and 14. And now he's going to have to call a timeout. So that's the experience of a Mike Glennon. Now, there might be the inexperience around him, but he had the wherewithal to call for the timeout, something that Josh Rosen did not do on a couple of occasions.
Yes.
And got the delay of game call.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, this guy is a veteran. He is. It's the reason why they brought him in to begin with. They knew, listen, we're going to go after a young quarterback. Remember the 4 quarterbacks, Paulie, that were coming out of the draft this year, right? 5, if you count Lamar Jackson, that many people thought would go in the first round.
And the 3 that were picked ahead of Josh Rosen that he called mistakes.
I wasn't going to bring that up, Paulie. The 3 that were picked ahead of Josh Rosen, right? When the Cardinals knew they were going to target one of those guys, I think they went after Mike Glennon and brought him in just to have an experienced quarterback in that room.
You know, the 3rd and 5th rounder to move up. Elijah Penny on the delayed give across the 45. He had some room to run, but he was taken down by a shoelace tackle.
I'll promise you, there were some DBs that were very, very happy that Elijah Penny got shoestringed on that one. Wow, watch this right here. You hand the ball off, and now all of a sudden you got him in space. That's a big, thick, bad boy running the ball.
Once again, I can't tell you a TJ Logan, I mean, some of the other, Chase Edmonds, they love running behind the fullback. It's almost as if they're experiencing the fullback for the first time, and in most cases they are, right?
Yes, there's no doubt about it. But it has been a smashing success.
For a lot of defenders, it's the first time they've dealt with a fullback as well. Curious to see how much we see it in the regular season. 2-minute warning, Cardinals up 7-3.
Welcome back. Cardinals are up 7-3 right before the half. Now this season, Sanderson Ford will recognize our servicemen and women through their Seats for Soldiers program. And tonight we honor Army Sergeant Michael Joseph Kohler Jr. For more information on the program, visit sandersonford.com. Well, this week the Arizona Cardinals named Kerry Taylor the Wells Fargo High School Coach of the Week. Now, the name may seem familiar. A former Arizona Cardinals wide receiver and ASU standout has led Arcadia High School to a 2-0 record beginning this season. I spoke with Taylor recently, and he said he was extremely excited to find out he was being recognized by an organization he not only played for, but grew up cheering on. He told me he always knew he wanted to be a coach, and he has taken everything from his NFL experience to connect him to his players. Guys,
that's outstanding that he's back in the game helping the kids. Wolf, were you ever coach of the week when you were head coach at Phoenix College for all of, what was it, 1 year? One glorious year at Phoenix College?
Actually 2 years.
2 years. 2 years, sorry.
For the record, I was the worst head coach in the history of junior college football.
Are you sure they brought you back for that second year? Are you sure you're not misremembering? First down and 10 and on the run. The running back from Chad Kelly taken out by Zeke Turner. That is Dave Williams, and we'll see the hurry-up offense here by the Broncos, down 7-3 with a $140 and counting.
Yeah, whether you're playing offense or defense in this situation, this is excellent work here, getting a 2-minute drill in.
Coaches love to see young quarterbacks in the 2-minute situation, don't they?
No doubt.
As he completes the pass to the sideline, but the clock's going to keep running. Tim Patrick, the catch, he couldn't get out of bounds, and they'll exercise a timeout.
First charge timeout.
I know one of the early impressions on Josh Rosen came from Patrick Peterson, and it was in the offseason. It was during the OTAs, and they had a 2-minute drill session, and Josh Rosen excelled. And right away, he got the respect of the defensive players, of Patrick Peterson and Chandler Jones, who would say later, there were times where Josh Rosen, we were getting shredded, the first-team defense by the young rookie who had only been on the job like 3 weeks.
Paulie, every great quarterback plays the game first in his head. It's played there first. And I think that Josh Rosen is the better for it because he is so cerebral.
As Kelly picks it up off the turf and loads up, he wants to go deep. Incomplete, just beyond the outstretched hands of Tim Patrick. And with that in mind, Wolf,
well, how about that? Tim Scott with another nice play down the field.
You know, we came in looking at Dietrich Nichols, seeing if he could be the outsider, the long shot to grab that last cornerback spot. But based on tonight, it's number 45, Tim Scott.
Tim Scott making some plays here. Look out.
I think it's second down and 10. And Kelly to the air, wants to go right, does, and caught and taken down after a gain of 5. Mark Chapman. Well, Wolf, getting back to Rosen, and how much benefit just the fact he's in the same quarterback room with a Sam Bradford, as opposed to, for example, Sam Darnold, who's already the starting quarterback with the Jets, as that pass play is out of bounds.
It's a huge advantage for Josh Rosen to be sitting there with the Sam Bradford. I mean, when I talk about a quarterback playing the game first with his brain, think of Sam Bradford. This is a guy that has been in, I want to say, 8 different offenses, Paul, with 8 different offensive coordinators. You have no idea what that's like. Paulie, it's like learning 8 different languages because of the terminology, right? The shift in terminology. 8 different languages taught by 8 different teachers.
Well, early in camp, Rosen said, I'm in the first year of this system, obviously, and Sam Bradford, it's his first year, but it seems like it's 4th year as Corey Lewis spins away from the defender out near the 35-yard line. It just seems to me, Wolf, that Josh Rosen is in a quarterback room with a former #1 pick overall.
Yes.
A guy who's a little bit taller than him, a little bit better accuracy than him, maybe a little bit better arm talent than him.
Maybe a bigger brain than him.
And Josh Rosen, someone who walked into UCLA and started from day one, the first true freshman ever to go into UCLA and start, holds a single-season passing record. We know what he did at UCLA. He was the big man on campus. He considered himself the best quarterback in the draft, but he's not the best quarterback on this roster.
The thing I am most impressed with Josh Rosen is his brain. I kid you not. He is absorbing the offense. He's on track to being that guy for the Arizona Cardinals. He's done an excellent job in training camp and preseason, but never forget, you play that game first in the brain, and Josh Rosen's got the brain to be a good quarterback in this league for a long time.
Sherman Beatty with his screen to the left. It's not. I just get the sense that 5-10 years from now, he's going to look back on this year, if it's 1 year, if it's more, with Sam Bradford, and just realize how beneficial it was.
No doubt, Paulie. I agree with you.
Second down and 14 from the 30. Glennon once again into the flat, and Beatty running racing for the sidelines, and he's out of bounds with 11 seconds to go. Don't forget, Steve Keim in the third quarter will join us. You think we have questions? Absolutely we have questions.
Yeah, we're going to rapid fire the questions, no doubt about it. This roster will take shape. It's amazing now, Paulie, the fact that they go from 90 players all the way down to 53, Paul. 90 to 53. I love the fact that they do it. We'll ask Steve Keim whether or not that's actually an advantage in terms of hiding players at the time.
As Glennon down the field in the seam just beyond midfield, a sliding grab by Bryce Butler.
On cutdown day, we'll ask him if that's an advantage, hiding players.
Cardinals use their third and final timeout right there. Well, there are definitely some tough decisions. The wide receiver room, cornerback, linebacker depth.
Tight end.
Tight end.
You're going to keep two fullbacks? Are you really going to do that? Are you going to keep Elijah Penny as a fullback? I realize he's a running back as well. I understand that. But are you going to do that? Because if you do keep two quote-unquote fullbacks, Paul, on your roster, you've just institutionalized the position within your organization. In other words, both those fullbacks could dress on game day, and if one goes down, you might say, hey, listen, we're just going to continue running our 21 personnel.
We'll see what Glennon has in mind here. 5 seconds ago, and he is taken down, but a flag was 0 on the clock. And it's a defensive penalty. The half can't end, but it looks like it's on the Cardinals, and that'll do it for the first half.
Really surprised Mike Glennon just didn't chuck that ball down the field. All of his receivers were in the end zone.
Offense, number 79.
I mean,
by rule, that penalty declined.
That's what quarterbacks look forward to, right? They want to load up and show the arm strength.
Yuck it up.
Let's see the arm talent. So the lone touchdown drive in that first half belonged to the Cardinals. Mike Glennon to Greg Little, 2 yards, and Brandon McManus, 27-yard field goal, completes the scoring. 7-3 at the half, back in the third quarter, and Steve Keim. Well, the football IQ in this broadcast booth just went up considerably, maybe exponentially, as we say. Welcome back to University of Phoenix Stadium, and welcome back to Steve Keim, the Cardinals GM, joining us here. And Steve, we're ready to talk some ball, and quite honestly, I'm tired of Wolf's uninformed opinion. Okay, so here we go from the general manager's perspective. This is a big night all the way around, isn't it?
It is. You know, there's a lot of guys that are trying to earn jobs, and the thing that has really stood out to me so far was the physicality that our guys are playing with. A lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm, and it's been exciting to see tonight.
Steve, how difficult do you think it's going to be to cut down to 53? I mean, from 90, and now suddenly you got to get down to 53. That's got to be difficult. A couple of late nights, I would imagine.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And Coach and I talked quite a bit about it this morning. And then tonight we met with Michael Bidwell before the game. And there are a lot of guys that really, it's coming down to tonight. I mean, you know, a lot of the things that we've talked about over and over, again, is how do you contribute on special teams if you're not going to play a specific role offensively or defensively. And then, you know, we've always been very aggressive with roster claims, trade talks, and those sort of things. So the next 3 days are going to be extremely busy.
You're always churning the roster. What would you say? The last how many spots in the final 53 might be subject to change based on what you see on the open market?
Yeah, I told Coach today that I think that probably 48 to 49 players are set from a roster standpoint. And then, you know, really, there are guys on this football team that can contribute on that back end for us and certainly have upside for the future. But, you know, there are going to be some other players on other teams that pique our interest. And there's no assurance that you're going to get the roster claims, but we will be aggressive, and our scouts will be in all weekend as well as our coaches. And we'll meet on that first thing tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.
So, Steve, when you're cutting down once again from 90 to 53, 37 guys all at once. It's not like it used to be a couple of years ago, where all of a sudden you had multiple cuts. All at once, 37 guys that are out there. Is it easier or harder to hide a guy?
You know, I don't think it's a whole lot different. You know, we used to go from 90 to 75, and now it is 90 to 53. Tomorrow we'll probably cut anywhere from 23 to 25 players, and then we have to build our 10 players on the practice squad as well, which is also can be difficult. And some of those players tonight, there are probably 3 or 4 of those guys who are trying to earn practice squad spots as well. So I don't know that anybody can hide players anymore because the personnel staffs have done such a good job with their research, and a lot of teams have quite a bit of depth in that area. So it's going to be fun because the next couple of days are exciting for all of us.
Charles Knopf in at quarterback, and the give is to Beatty off the right side. He's stacked up near the 16. And tell us about Charles Knopf, because I'll be the first one to raise my hand. He's surprised, the rookie out of Princeton.
Yeah, there's no doubt, and he's a guy that excited us coming out during the draft process, and we flew him in for a visit, and we're really excited about the type of person he is. Great intangibles, and the one thing that stands out to me is so many times in the evaluation process you get enamored with the arm strength and the mobility and all those sort of things. The one thing that this kid has naturally is the anticipatory skills, the ability to throw the ball before players get out of their breaks, and that's one of the things that has really stood out to me.
Give to the right side, and that running play will get stacked up at the 15. What did you think of Mike Glennon in the first half?
I thought this was Mike's best preseason game. You know, there were some other games where ball placement and touch on some of his throws were a concern. I thought today that he played loose and he let it rip a few times. A couple of those deeper in routes and seam routes, I thought he had some nice touch on the ball.
When you watch Charles Knopf throw the ball, is it just me or Steve? Does he have a high release point?
He does.
He's got a different kind of release, doesn't he?
He does, and when I watch the Princeton tape, that's the first thing that stood out to me is he's got a little bit of a high windmill release, but again, he gets the ball out very quick, and from a football acumen standpoint, he's really intelligent and understands the game, which as we know, is the ultimate skill set at that position.
Looks like it might have been Evan Boehm.
False start. Offense. Left side of the line. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
That sounds like it was more than Evan Boehm. It was multiple players.
Left side of the line.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting, Steve, because obviously Josh Rosen has done very, very well. Played very well in preseason games as well. And of course, he plays it with the brain. And that position, as you mentioned, you've got to have the brain to play quarterback in the National Football League. What have you seen from Josh Rosen so far this preseason?
I think we all could tell during the draft process that he had the arm strength and the accuracy and all the physical tools. The one thing that has stood out to me so far in the preseason is his command of the huddle. You know, for young players, just getting out the cadence and the command of the huddle is a tough transition for those guys. You know, so many teams are coming from spread offenses. They don't even call the huddle. But Josh has done a fantastic job. He's been a gym rat. He's been in the facility watching tape, doing all the extra work that's necessary for that position. And I think the future's extremely bright.
And another flag on the return here, River Craycraft, as he's bottled up near the 50-yard line. This has been a constant in the preseason. More than one flag on a lot of the punt returns, the special teams. Various points of emphasis, but there's no doubt that the officials been getting their money's worth.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Return team number 43. That's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
All right, just underway in the second half. We'll continue with the Cardinals GM Steve Keim from University of Phoenix Stadium. Welcome back to our Ford broadcast booth, brought to you by your Arizona Ford dealers. Paxton Lynch is into the game for the Broncos, the first-round quarterback from 3 years ago. Speaking of draft picks, GM Steve Keim inside our Ford broadcast booth. And Steve, just in general, I mean, you know, we've seen guys, undrafted guys, far from being first-rounders who have impressed this preseason. Who stood out to you?
You know, I think one of the guys that has stood out, undrafted player, Dietrich Nichols, has done a nice job. He's He's extremely physical for that position. He understands zone concepts. And the one thing about him is he's just got a natural feel for the game. Aside from that, you know, I think Benet Ben-Wickery was a great addition in free agency. He's a guy that was, I think, flying under the radar. And he's another player that understands the zone concepts that Steve Wilks and his staff have implemented, and just has a really nice feel for the game. I think he's had an excellent preseason.
What about up front, Steve, in the trenches on both sides of the ball? Has there been, you know, some guys that have stood out to you?
Well, I think overall, in my 20th year here, this is probably the most physical offensive line I feel like we've put together. That starting unit has been excellent with, you know, Justin Pugh and Mike Iupati is playing exceptional. The addition of Andre Smith, I think, is going to pay huge dividends for us. But, you know, defensively, there's no doubt in my mind Chandler Jones is going to have another great year. Marcus Golden is getting healthy. And then we have some guys who are going to be role players, you know, guys that, whether it's Benson Mawai or Jacquez Smith, who's a guy we added late here in training camp. In fact, we were talking about it the other day, Coach and Michael and myself. And Jacquez Smith was a player that Michael Bidwell actually really got excited about when he came in and worked out for us. And he's a guy that looks like he's got a real chance to make this football team. And I let Coach Wilks know that that scout Bidwell, he may be up for a pay raise.
Well, he had the interception in the first quarter, Jacquez Smith, so there you go.
He did.
I mean, 17 takeaways in 4 preseason games. What do you make of that?
Well, I think it's, you know, it starts with the mentality that Coach Wilks has brought to this football team. You know, whether it's running to the football, playing full speed, physical, but at the same time, you know, I think good football teams are opportunistic. You know, when you see good football teams, they're in the plus category in takeaways. And there's no doubt that when you look at his history as a football coach, whether it's been as an assistant or defensive coordinator, that's an area that he has excelled in.
You know, it's interesting because I think the hallmarks of any takeaway machine, when you talk about defenses, you got to have an aggressive scheme, you got to have fast players and physical players. And I think those 3 components are here, Steve.
Yeah. And you know, there's been some improvement that I've seen already since our first preseason game. And most of it probably comes down to just tackling and the fundamentals. You know, I feel like that defensively, we're a fast football team. We have guys that fly around and make plays on the football. But I thought early on in the process, we weren't playing with gap integrity, so people were gashing us on runs. And then, you know, quite frankly, we weren't tackling well. And there were a lot of yards after contact. And that was a concern for me and certainly Coach Wilks, and I think we've cleaned a lot of that up.
Second down and 4 as Paxton Lynch, he slid on that last one after a 3-yard gain. Play action straight up the middle. Zeke Turner having a heck of a game with the sack off the blitz, the undrafted guy out of UW.
Yeah, as Wolf would say, this guy's playing like his hair's on fire. I mean, he has been a fun player to watch this preseason, particularly when you think about the fact that he played safety at University of Washington, and he's made that transition like Daniel Buchanan, where he went from the safety position and now is a will linebacker for us, and really that's what the NFL's becoming, hybrid players who can play all 3 downs and cover in space.
Position versatility, right?
That's everything. I mean, when you play at all 3 levels, whether it's the defensive line, playing inside or outside, or the second level, or even the back end, positional flexibility is so key in this league.
Pass play to the near sideline. We've seen Hassan Reddick in this game. How about his progress in the learning curve and learning a new position for Reddick?
Yeah, I think the one thing that people fail to realize is Hassan Reddick was a pass rusher coming out of Temple. So he had very, very little experience as a stacked backer. And we saw him play stack backer in the Senior Bowl, which caught our eye. He has all the physical traits, but as we all know, that position takes some time with your eyes and your instincts and your ability to read and anticipate. So those are the things that I think that our staff has done a good job of working on for him. And moving forward, that is definitely an area where he's got to continue to improve.
That's a 46-yard field goal. Brandon McManus making it 7-6 Cardinals. We continue with the GM Steve Keim from University of Phoenix Stadium. And Welcome back to our Ford broadcast booth, brought to you by your Arizona Ford dealers. The Broncos field goal makes it 7-6 Arizona. The Cardinals GM Steve Keim in the booth. And let's talk about a guy from your hometown, Chase Edmonds. I'm still learning about Chase Edmonds, the 4th-round rookie out of Fordham. Hails from the same area you grew up in.
Yeah, Harrisburg, PA. I don't know many people that are soft from Harrisburg, right, Will? But
I agree.
As my son Carson would say, he's a savage. But he has been a lot of fun to watch. Not only does he have great natural run skills, his instincts as a pure runner have really been exceptional. The one thing about him is when you look at his career production at Fordham, it was off the charts. Talking about a guy who had 1,800, 1,600, and like 1,800 yards rushing his first 3 years. And he really would have eclipsed the 1AA record if he didn't have the hip injury his senior year. We actually flew him in the pre-draft process, got to know the person as well. It was funny because actually he came in with Josh Rosen on the same day. So I took both of them to dinner. And really that night talked to Mike McCoy, Coach Wilkes, and said it'd be great to have both of these guys. I know it's a pipe dream. So to think that we came out of the draft with Josh, Christian Kirk, and Mason Cole, who's also been exceptional, and then tag Chase Edmonds in the 4th round, really, to me, couldn't have gone any better.
Here's Knopf, incomplete, intended for the tight end. I tell you what, if you gave me a personal takeaway from this preseason, 4th and goal from the 2, and somehow Chase Edmonds, after he stopped on a 2nd, 3rd, 4th effort, he just body surfs all the way into the end zone. The desperation, the desire to actually get it across the line, that was remarkable.
Yeah, you could tell in that pre-draft process when we talked to him that whether it was the fact that he didn't get recruited out of high school by the big schools, or the fact that he had to play the 1AA team and got the injury his senior year and was a 4th-round pick. I mean, that eternal chip is going to live on his shoulder, and there's no greater motivator.
Just watching Elijah Penny play here tonight. Steve, is the fullback back in the Big Red organization? It is back?
Now. Yeah, it is now. But again, as we talked about the hybrids earlier, it's not the 1970 version of the fullback, Wolf. It is the fullback that can run, that can catch the football out of the backfield, has pass protection ability. So you have to do a number of things, and there's no doubt that you have to contribute on special teams.
3rd down and 7 from the 16, trips to the left. We'll see what Knopf has in mind here. Time, fires, and it is caught. C.J. Duncan, and then dumped and dropped at the 35.
Wow. See, that throw right there to me is that anticipatory throw that I talked about. To be able to fit it in that tight window with the timing and the touch that he throws, that the ball should have been caught.
Boy, that really is a beautiful read and a beautiful throw right there. A little bit maybe behind, but still in the National Football League, you got to come down with that when you get 2 hands on it. That was Charles Knopf, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the thing I like about him as well is he may not have the elite arm strength, but he throws a real catchable ball. And again, the placement and the touch has been very good.
It's River, great grab, trying to gain the edge in the corner. And then the 30 cuts back, and he's taken down there at the 33-yard line.
Gardeck, the barbarian.
Dennis Gardeck, Wolf's favorite player. Steve, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for the time. Thank you for the insight and the knowledge. And we're all going to be waiting in the next 48 hours to see what you decide.
Thanks, man. Exciting times ahead.
There you go. Arizona Cardinals GM Steve Keim. We'll come back to University of Phoenix Stadium.
Joseph Abood, custom suits for broadcast personalities provided by Men's Warehouse. You're going to like the way you look.
Notice that minus Dave Pash, Wolf, aren't nearly as many shots at your wardrobe tonight. Dave wore that out. As soon as this preseason ends, you're making a beeline for Men's Warehouse. I know that.
There's the mouth guard.
Paxton Lynch, the quick hitter. And the Cardinals in a gang tackle short of the 40-yard line. Well, that was very interesting stuff from Steve Keim, and you saw Zeke Turner in. If you look at the depth chart, he's listed as a safety, Zeke Turner. But if you watch this game, and all the production is coming from that will linebacker spot akin to a Dayon Buchanan.
Position flexibility. I mean, over and over and over again, position flexibility, it matters in today's NFL. The more you can do. That saying was around a long, long time before I even got in the league in 1985, but I don't think it's more poignant or prevalent than it is today. And today's NFL.
Dave Williams taken down at the line of scrimmage. Zeke Turner again making a play. Also into the game, Brandon Williams. And Brandon Williams is a guy who is most definitely on the bubble.
There's no doubt, Paulie. Take a look at the safeties right here. I think Rudy Ford is here. I think Trey Boston. Definitely. Zeke Turner trying to make a name for himself.
3rd and 4 from the 39. And the Cardinals up 7-6. Paxton Lynch, and he gets the running back out of the backfield across the 40, out of bounds near midfield. Actually make that Isaiah McKenzie cover from the far side.
A well-executed play right there. But right now, this is it. Time is running out. Watch the block right here. Nice job. Doing a good job just getting his job done as opposed to driving the other man into the ground and watching spittle fly out of his mouth.
Among other takeaways from the GM Steve Keim here from the 50-yard line. And the give to the running back to the second level, making tacklers miss and taking tacklers with him, D'Angelo Henderson. You know, the line of scrimmage and the depth the Cardinals have along that defensive front.
Yeah, I mean, this is where the clock is ticking, though. Right now, Paulie, look at it. 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. This is it. You got 5 minutes here. You got one more quarter coming up. Every snap where you don't make something happen and you don't make a play is a snap that brings you closer to getting cut.
Empty backfield for Lynch. You go to Henderson in the flat. Trying to make a man miss, but getting wrapped up at the 40, and that's Scooby Wright.
Well, that's a nice open field tackle right there by Scooby Wright. Vontarius Durham. I believe he's here, Paulie.
I do too. 3 sacks in that last game.
Yes, I believe he's here. Jaquez Smith, a guy that really has flashed here tonight, right? Cappy. What do they call him, Paulie?
Sack Happy or
Sack Happy
or Cap Sacky. Just go ahead.
You got to go with the Sack Happy.
It's got to be Sack Happy. To get run play off the right side and torn down after getting the first down on 3rd down and 1. Yeah, I mean, you know, and that's the other thing you always forget about is that in addition to your 53, you got to try and fashion a 10-player practice squad.
Yep.
And then, of course, there are those players on the open market. And according to Steve Keim, I mean, you're only safe if you're through 48 or 49. Those last 4, 5, 6 spots on the roster, you could be gone by next Wednesday.
Yeah, I guess coming in. I just guessed, but I thought it was 5 positions that probably were still up for grabs.
First down and 10. Lane across the 30 to the 25-yard line before Brandon Williams brings down the running back.
Boy, right now, you take a look at it here. The Denver Broncos doing a great job creating seams with their zone reads. The guys up front right now not in their gap, not doing their job. You can expect a knock on the door.
Linebacker, you got Dennis Gardeck. Has been a great story out of Sioux Falls. Undrafted guy who's made a name for himself. Play action, Lynch pumps, throws, cross the middle, caught at the 20-yard line. What's your nickname for Gardeck again?
Gardeck the Barbarian.
All right. Now, I think you redeemed yourself with that one. There's a Japanese fighting fish, an epic fail with Larry. I mean, there were years ago, Adrian Wilson. I had to separate you two after you nicknamed him the Gas Man. He didn't like that. I think we're still lukewarm on Saguaro Savage for Christian Kirk.
Yes, no, the Saguaro Savage, and there was Gardeck, the Barbarian, right there. Are you kidding me? Gardeck. What a great name that is to have on the back of your jersey.
And so far, in a first, he seems to appreciate the nickname, which you haven't had a whole lot of over the years. He's buying into it.
What do you mean, Paulie? The fact that he was at the quarterback luncheon and reintroduced him, and I said Gardeck the Barbarian, and when I said that, he went ahead and grabbed the bun, which was on the back of his head, not on top of his head, but on back of his head, and actually pulled it out, and the hair came down. You know what, Gardeck? If you're going to wear your hair or grow your hair long, you got to wear it long, too. Don't put it up in a bun. Let it hang.
He literally let his hair down on stage after you gave him the nickname in front of the entire kickoff lunch and crowd. A throw on the run and into the hands of the receiver for a Broncos touchdown. Jordan Leslie as Paxton Lynch creates for 6.
Boy, how about that right there? When you can run the ball the way the Broncos have been able to run the ball, that boot has been there all night long. But look at Paxton Lynch. You had the blitz coming to the left, rolled the corner off. Perfect call for that blitz. Paxton Lynch got outside contained, wide open, an easy touchdown for the Denver Broncos.
Looks like we're going to have a preseason 2-point attempt here. Why not, right? Yeah. Break the huddle quickly. And Lynch out of the gun with trips to the right. Plenty of time. Now in trouble and taken down at the 15. And a flag comes out late as well. Make it 2.
Oh, no.
Coverage sack if nothing else, huh, Wolf?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, Paulie, but still, I'm just looking at this. How are they going to mitigate this? How are they going to control this? How are they going to process this hit? What are you going to call it?
Was it helmet to helmet?
I believe there's a, yes, I believe that's what they're probably going to call here. He never lowered his head, but you can't make contact with a quarterback helmet to helmet.
Once again, the crux of the new helmet rule. You can't lower your head and initiate contact. And that's whether you're the offensive player, the defensive player. You can't have that linear posture.
Well, it looks like they're going over it.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Illegal formation. Offense number 79 was covered up. That penalty is declined by rule. Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 50. That penalty is accepted. The ball will be moved to the 1-yard line for a retry.
Arius Moore got flagged.
And take a look at it right here, Paulie. Once again, you see Cappy getting the pressure right there, and boy, there it is. Helmet to helmet, right? Yeah, that they're going to call that.
Yeah. Even though he saw what he hit what you see, his head was up. It was face mask.
It isn't the helmet rule. It's initiating contact above the shoulders.
Gotcha.
With a quarterback.
Well, we saw that earlier in the game. There is 0 tolerance for hitting the quarterback high.
Bunch to the left.
So their second attempt at a 2-point attempt. And the keeper by Lynch, and he runs it into the right. A keeper, and they convert.
Boy, that was great right there, wasn't it? Take a bunch formation to the left. Trips formation. Then you go ahead, you fake it, and then just total distraction. You keep it yourself. You got the athletic Paxton Lynch hater.
Well, the former first-round pick Paxton Lynch, 9 for 9 passing. 74 yards through the air, a touchdown, and the 2-point conversion run, 14-7, and Wolf can't wait. Week 1 of the regular season means the debut of Cardinals Flight Plan starring Steve Wilks. And just in time for you will be the improved dress code, by the way. See, the expectations have been elevated, Ron Wolfley, so you will be expected to dress accordingly.
Now, wait a minute, Paulie. What is going on here? You're talking about the flight plan coming up, the
weekly TV show with Steve Wilks.
Okay.
The 2 of us, and it'll be Friday at 6:30. That's true.
I see.
Yeah, it's going to be a 2-man game now.
I've been doing it with Bruce Arians for the last 5 years solo.
That's true.
You understand that, right, Paul? And now all of a sudden they're bringing you in. Is that what you're doing? They're horning in.
You know, there was. I'm not sure if it was it deemed necessary, I guess is the question. That's
it was necessary.
That's what you have to ask yourself, apparently. As Knopf goes to the air, and Carlton Agudosi, he started running before he caught the ball. He had a chance for some extra yards after the catch, but he didn't make the catch.
Boy, it's so difficult. It's so difficult to watch a young guy trying to make a football team. An excellent throw by Charles Knopf. right on the money, and you drop it. Hey, Paulie, for all you know, that may be your last opportunity to make a play here tonight. Hopefully that won't be the case for Carlton Agudosi, but you never know, Paul.
Yeah, he has all the measurables. 6'6". I mean, has the catch radius. He can run, but the coaches have to see it. They have to see it in a game setting. They have to see it on film. Cannot play action. Loads up, goes deep, and incomplete. Nowhere near Jalen Tolliver.
Jalen Tolliver went to the post, and Charles Knopf thought he was going to go to the corner. And when you think he's going to go to the corner and he goes to the post, you look very inaccurate. You can see he kind of got his back waxed there as well. Rip. Boy, that hurts, Paul. You have no idea. That face mask goes right into your low back. The shredding of the skin.
Is that where the next morning where you're feeling in particular, you leave an impression on your bed sheet? Speaking again, hit. The ball's loose, and it's in the hands of the Denver Broncos at the 22-yard line. Jeff Holland comes up with it after it's knocked free of Charles Knopf.
Boy, Jeff Holland picked that ball up. I mean, he hit the ground with force. It came out of there. The strip was there. The ball came out, and he picked it up on one bounce. Boy, that's some heads-up football by Holland.
Yeah, he's a guy who's been making a run in the Broncos roster. That's not going to hurt, that's for sure. Now, should Knopf have gotten rid of the ball? Should he sense, is that what they talk about a quarterback feeling the rush?
You know what, honestly, did something bad happen? Yes, something bad happened. Yes, he should have gotten rid of the ball. That's an easy thing to say right there. You should have gotten rid of the ball. What are you doing holding the ball in that case? Throw the ball. Where's your check down? Throw it at his feet. Get rid of it. That internal clock is ticking.
As the clock ticks here on the third quarter, the Broncos have already one score in this third quarter. In prime position to do it again. A blitz, and Lynch does get rid of it this time, but it's straight out of bounds.
Massive confusion, and that's really what you're going to get right there. First incompletion for Paxton Lynch. Think about that, Paulie.
Here's a guy who was getting booed in his home stadium this preseason. So maybe on the road he's free and clear and free of mind and just comfortable to play.
Well, the question becomes, does it matter for Paxton Lynch? It might matter to another team. It doesn't matter as a Bronco.
They'll show blitz, they drop off, they throw to the running back. Henderson makes a man miss at the 20-yard line. It was Travell Dixon as D'Angelo Henderson shook free of him. Well, we heard Steve Keim talk highly of Dietrich Nichols, but we haven't called his name in this game. And we have called Tim Scott, who's been on coverage. Now Brandon Williams is also in the mix. That is one of the two big areas that Steve Wilkes has cited this week. We asked him, all right, which position groups, and corner was right there along with the receiver.
I got 5 numbers that I wrote down.
3rd and 7. And this was out to the sideline. The running back makes a man miss, and he picks up the first down. That's the tackling that Steve Keim cited, that Steve Wilkes has talked about in the preseason.
Yeah, right there. Dennis Gardeck missed the tackle, and that's got to hurt. And he was one of the 5 guys I wrote down. Trent Sherfield has popped. A.J. Howard, Zeke Turner, Tim Scott, Dennis Gardeck. Until that play right there.
Well, when we come back, it'll be 1st and goal from the 10. Denver trying to build on its lead. 14-7. And what do you call the 4th quarter of the 4th preseason game?
The witching hour.
Here we go. Next.
This broadcast is copyrighted by NFL Productions for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the consent of NFL Productions is prohibited.
Well, you call it the witching hour, the 4th quarter of the 4th preseason game. I like to call it the gateway to the regular season, Ron Wolfley. Here we go. 1st and goal from the 10. Lynch to the air. He's only had 1 incompletion. And it stays that way as he hits the tight end in the back of the end zone for 6. Paxton Lynch has put on a bit of a clinic here in the second half. Touchdown, Denver.
Well executed play and a beautiful throw by Paxton Lynch. Little play action right there. Great job by the back, picking up the blitz. And I mean a perfect throw to the tight end on the seam route over the top.
Yeah, Matt Lacrosse on the receiving end of that one. It's interesting because a bunch of the Broncos defensive players were saying how much better they think the Broncos offense is going to be this year. Talking about a Broncos team that a year ago went 5-11. And the new offensive coordinator Bill Musgrave coming over from the Raiders. The extra point is up and it is good, making it 21-7. We'll see if the Cardinals can respond when we come back at the University of Phoenix Stadium. Paxton Lynch, 10 yards to the tight end Brian Parker. That makes it 21-7 to start the fourth quarter. The Broncos with a touchdown early in the third quarter after the Cardinals had the lead at the half, 7-3. Paul Calvisi, Ron Wolfley, Lisa Matthews down on the sidelines. And 1 week from Sunday, Ron Wolfley, the regular season begins. 3 of the first 4 are at home for your Arizona Cardinals.
Boy, that is great that you're actually going to have that situation, Paulie.
13th season here at University of Phoenix Stadium on the touchback, and we'll see this Washington Redskins team coming to town, and they've been banged up a running back, and that means Adrian Peterson, the former Cardinal, will get a lot of carries.
But to see Adrian Peterson, as a matter of fact, running the ball this preseason, done a very, very good job for him. You can see some of the key losses, of course, Kirk Cousins being first and foremost. Replaced by Alex Smith, and I expect Alex Smith to have a big year.
They're very bullish, the Redskins. The reports out of Redskins camp on the job Alex Smith has been doing as quarterback. As that ball was nearly picked off, it glances off the hands of Jalen Tolliver and into the secondary. Well, and there are so many questions. We just don't know what the Arizona Cardinals are going to look like in the regular season with a brand new coaching staff.
Yep.
I mean, you have 16 new coaches, you have 47 new players to start. It's just, they hit the big red reset button.
You know, it's really noteworthy when you say that 3 of the first 4 games at University of Phoenix Stadium in front of the Red Sea here, that's a big deal. But it also brings a lot of pressure to a football team because, Paulie, yeah, that's great. You got 3 of your first 4 at home. Now you got to win them.
You got to make hay early, no doubt. Gain of 6 by Beatty there. And I think it's important, you can correct me if I'm wrong, a decade in the NFL as a player. When you're a first-year head coach, you get some wins early, you get more buy-in.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Paulie. Absolutely. I think Steve Wilkes right now has got an awful lot of buy-in on this team, but the ultimate is to win. Just win.
Kanama, third down. This time he gets rid of it, and it's dropped in the flat by Beatty. Good job of hitting the check down that time around, but Cardinals can't convert. Here comes the punt team. So you wrote down a few numbers to start this game.
Yeah. You know, I did. I talked about this a little bit. Trent Sherfield, he definitely has flashed here tonight. I thought A.J. Howard.
A.J. Howard?
Flashed as well. Zeke Turner. Right? I don't think there's any question about it. Zeke Turner kind of flashed here tonight. Tim Scott is a guy that made some plays early.
Edward Craycraft is the return man, and that's the first poor punt we've seen by Andy Lee. There is a flag out there as Andy Lee is mad at himself, and it's obvious why. Tell you what, though, here's hoping Andy Lee got that out of his system, because otherwise he's been impeccable in this preseason, looking more like the Pro Bowler he was back in his heyday with the Niners.
Holding, return team number 46. That penalty is enforced 10 yards from the end of the kick. First down. Timeout.
There we go. Cardinals trailing 21-7. All right, about tonight's power performance presented by SRP, delivering water and power. And it's got to be a takeaway from the D, right? That's been the theme throughout the preseason. This time, Jaquez Smith, the defensive end, not only the interception, but some return yards as well. The big man, as he takes it back. And look, Wolf, we're not just talking a takeaway. We're talking takeaway number 17 on the preseason. The last team to do that in the NFL was Tampa in the year 2000. Think about that. Wow. A tough run by the Broncos' D'Angelo Henderson on first down and 10 from the 22.
You know, once again, listen, I don't think, Paulie, this defense is going to be able to maintain that kind of turnover ratio and takeaway ratio going into the regular season. I don't think they're going to be able to do that, okay? What has happened so far in 4 games has been truly amazing. But I will tell you this, I think they could be a takeaway monster. They've got all the components that you need. They've got an aggressive scheme with Al Holcomb. They got speed, and they've got brutality. They've got the physicality that you need as well. Guys like Chandler Jones, Corey Peters, Dale Buchanan, Budda Baker, Patrick Peterson. They've got playmakers. Guys that are physical and guys that can run. And they play in an aggressive scheme.
You saw
Put it all together, Paulie.
I mean, Rudy Ford just coming off the edge right there. They have not hesitated to blitz DBs throughout the preseason.
And the one thing you can bet with Steve Wilkes, of course, as your head coach, and Al Holcomb as your defensive coordinator, but you're going to get pressure packages. They love to bring 5, right? And they'll blitz, of course, which is 6 or more, but pressure packages are bringing 5. Look at that play.
Nice throw and catch. And a completion into Cardinals territory. It was DeAndre White on the receiving end for Paxton Lynch.
Boy, right now, this is a big-time throw by Paxton Lynch right there, off of the play action. Boy, you throw that ball down the seam right there in front of the safety. That takes a little juice, a little sauce. Lynch put some sauce on that one. You know, right now, Paulie, stop to think about it. Even if Chad Kelly's going to be your backup quarterback, Paxton Lynch coming out here and playing the way he has tonight.
Well, 24 yards in that pass play to the 41. They keep it on the ground this time, and I think that was a big question the Broncos had coming into this game. Do we need to go get an experienced backup for that quarterback room? Paxton Lynch in his 3rd year, and maybe he has reassured management.
Boy, that was a nice play by Dennis Gardeck coming all the way down from the backside. Gardeck, the Barbarian, once again can run. Ran a 4.55.
And what was the vertical?
4.55.
What was the vertical?
Paulie, I think it was 39. I think it was a 39. I'm just saying right now, right?
Yeah, with that kind of athleticism, no wonder they brought him in for a look.
Got the long hair going as well, right?
I had a chance to talk to him this week. His older brother is a minor league baseball player, and that play was messed up from the very beginning. Had no chance, and Paxton Lynch just pulled the plug on it. Gardeck's older brother is a minor league baseball player, and I talked to him about the same thing Chase Edmonds encountered here at the NFL level. You play at Fordham, you play at Sioux Falls. There were more fans in attendance at the red and white practice than they ever saw in their college career.
Wow.
So how do you deal with that sort of overload, as he called it? He went into the Dallas AT&T Stadium. He called it sensory overload. So he said he's been relying on what his brother told him, that is focus on the small things, and the big things will take care of itself. So he said when we went to that stadium in Dallas, he just started looking at his keys right away. He started looking at the left guard. He started just picking out little things to focus instead of standing back and then he'd zoom out and looking at the whole big picture of the stadium. He said at that point he just would have been, you know, out of his mind compared to where he came from in Division II.
That really is an amazing story right there, right? But a lot of these guys that are down there on the field right now competing for jobs, they all have amazing stories for the most part. You get the opportunity to make a football team in the National Football League, you are probably your best player on your team, whatever college you went to, or one of the best players on your team.
We're going to get a 58-yard field goal attempt by Brandon McManus. All line drive. pulls to the left, and it's no good. You know, you have an Alec James out there right now, a two-time All-Big Ten performer. He splashed. Few minutes left to make that a last impression.
Welcome back, everyone. Cardinals down 21-7 in the fourth. I'm joined with Buda Baker. Buda, second year in the league, second defense you've had to pick up. How has the transition been for you so far?
Oh man, the transition was definitely different, but opposed to last year, I wasn't able to be at the OTAs and minicamp and all that type of stuff. So this year, I got the defense way faster.
What did you just learn from your rookie season that you can lean on this year?
Oh man, at the end of the day, it's football. You know, no matter what they coach, all the different type of assignments you have, it's what I've been playing my whole life. So that's what I got out of it.
You're often put into some diverse sub-packages with this defense, sometimes near the line of scrimmage, up in the box, going up against linemen. What is that like at your stature?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's an advantage for me because I'm smaller, so they're going to have to get down to my level. And I take pride in trying to take on old linemen and fullbacks and all that type of stuff. So I think it's an advantage for me.
17 takeaways for this defense in the preseason. Is this what fans can expect from this defense?
Hopefully. Hopefully you see a lot of guys with their eyes to the QB and knowing where the football is going and hopefully making turnovers like we have been in this preseason.
Pro Bowl for special teams in year one. What is your goal for this year?
You know, I'm all about a team goal. So, you know, first, you know, get our division right and then playoffs and then we'll go from there. So for me, I'm just trying to take it day by day and help this team get wins.
Thanks, Buda. Guys?
All right, good stuff. We haven't seen a lot of Buda on special teams in the preseason, but we do expect to see the Pro Bowl special teamer in the regular season to be out there.
Such a good football player.
They saw come up with a 14-yard completion to the ball. They keep it on the ground this time. Elijah Penny refusing to go down, spun around 3 times before he hits the turf.
Buda Baker really is the X factor for Al Holcomb in this Cardinals defense. You just don't know where he's going to be. A guy that can play in the middle of the field high, Paulie, right? A guy that you can bring down low into the box and play as a safety, a box safety. Guy you can stick out on the edge. A guy you can walk out over the slot, have him play man over the slot receiver. So many things you can do. Roll him off the slot, blitz him.
We saw the interception last week, right? Deep safety, baiting the man. Jalen Tolliver with a grab, making that miss across the 20 to the 17-yard line. Kid out of Arkansas, Monticello.
Boy, that is good. Charles Knopf. That's an excellent read and an excellent throw by Knopf.
21 yards. I tell you what, this Tolliver kid is really impressed throughout camp. Didn't get a whole bunch of targets in these preseason games.
Yeah.
But when he's got his hands on the ball, he has delivered.
I talked to Phil Savage, the general manager of the new AAF, I believe it is, Paulie, whatever it is, the franchise here.
Correct. Okay.
Talk to him, Phil Savage. He loves Tolliver.
That's Knopf trying to buy some time, and he's tripped up at the 28-yard line. That'll be a loss of 10.
That situation right there, Charles Knopf should have gotten rid of the ball. You can't take that sack in that situation right there.
How many receivers, Wolf, do you think the Arizona Cardinals keep?
I think 6. I think they're going to keep 6. Chad Williams, Christian Kirk, Larry Fitzgerald, of course. They're here. J.J. Nelson, again, I don't know if he's earned the right to be one of the 6 guys, but I do know this. He's the one guy that can run by someone. Flat out run by you, and that makes him different.
Knopf underneath this time. Corey Willis jukes one man across the 20 to the 17-yard line. He gets down.
Do you know what I mean, Paulie? That's a big deal.
In Bruce Arians' offense, that was critical. It was essential.
Yes.
How about in this offense?
Well, I would imagine you'd like to have one guy that could take the top off from time to time, right? I'm just guessing. I don't know. Mike McCoy might have a completely different answer for you on that one, Paulie.
And the honest answer is we don't know. I mean, Mike McCoy has put the coy into McCoy. We're not exactly sure what his passing offense is going to look like.
Well, look, if you got 5 other guys that are good route runners, short to intermediate route runners, they all have similar skill sets, kind of. Quick burst in a short area, good hands, smart receivers. If you're going to keep 6, why not keep a guy that is a bit different? It's kind of like Elijah Penny right now, right? Elijah Penny, I think, is going to make this team because he represents something completely different. Not only can he play fullback, but you, again, can stick him behind the quarterback and have him run in between the tackles. And you don't have a back like him. Even David Johnson, as big as he is, he's not as physical as Elijah Penny.
36-yard field goal attempt by Matt McCrane. He's already nailed him this preseason from 53, 54, and he converts again. So an impressive August by the kid.
Boy, this kid right here, look at him. I mean, bag of bones, 165 pounds, and the kid's got a cannon for a leg.
Yeah, the rookie out of K-State. He's been impressive, there's no doubt about it. But Wolf, how do you value a rookie against the 20-year career of Phil Dawson?
I know, Paulie. That's what is so difficult right there. Phil Dawson with all of that experience. Do you know what a guerrilla troop is, Paulie?
I do not.
Okay, well, a guerrilla troop, of course. It's a family, a gathering of gorillas.
I see.
And there's always a silverback.
A silverback.
You know what? Phil Dawson is the silverback for the Arizona Cardinals.
Gotcha.
All right, he's been around for a long, long time.
Akin to the leader of the Pride.
Are you kidding me? That's the one thing that really works against McCrane.
Hey, for every successful Cardinals field goal, Cigna makes a generous contribution to Cardinals charities, benefiting the Keogh Health Connection, connecting families to a healthy future. Brendan Langley is the Broncos return man. He's out across the 10 and goes north of the 20, 25, and down near the 28-yard line.
Boy, look at that. Did you see the tackle on that by Gardeck? He missed the tackle on the sideline as a linebacker, but on kickoff cover right there, that's track and bag. Jägermeister, Master Hunter. Watch this from the backside. That's a little hog tie right there.
Well,
every play, Paulie, matters. Every play.
I know when you're trying to devise who's tracking for the final 53, you usually look at punt team, don't you?
Oh, man.
Punt cover.
You look at punt team.
You get a running back across the 30. It's Dave Williams. All right, so the Cardinals in the NFC West, and it's got a bit of a different look this year. Every single team hit the reset button to some degree. What do you see that stands out there with the Rams? Obviously some big names and some big money contracts.
Look at those names right there. I mean, Ndamukong Suh, Marcus Peters, Aqib Talib, Sam Shields, but Marcus Peters and Ndamukong Suh,
Aaron
some of
Donald,
the best in their league.
Aaron Donald reportedly closing in. Remember, they get the Rams in week 2 as a hit in the backfield and a big tackle for loss. Dave Williams met by Edmund Robinson and company. Interesting how Sean McVay and the Rams approached the preseason. Jared Goff, Todd Gurley didn't get a single snap in a preseason game. And Goff's a third-year quarterback who didn't play at least half of his rookie year.
Really
so that's interesting.
Yeah, interesting to hear Kurt Warner talk about the fact that he loved to get preseason snaps. Here you've got a Hall of Fame quarterback who loved to get as many snaps in the preseason as his coach would allow.
This is a 3rd down and 10. Broncos in their 29. They'll keep it on the ground. An inside handoff, and out near the 35 is Dave Williams. What do you make of the Seahawks, Wolf, and all their losses?
Yeah.
I mean, that defense is a shell of its former dominating self.
It really is incredible, right? I mean, Michael Bennett, Richard Sherman, Cam Chancellor. I mean, Cliff Averill as well, an excellent edge rusher. But when you talk about losing Cam Chancellor, Richard Sherman, Michael Bennett, and you got Earl Thomas out there right now.
Contract holdout. He's the heartbeat of the defense.
It's the Legion of Boink.
Get out! Get out! Get out!
Punt is away. It's a good one. Corey Willis backpedaling inside his 10. And he's going to reverse field. Skips over one man. Makes another miss. And then tackled at about the 17. I mean, if the Seahawks, I'm going to just forecast it right now, if the Seahawks are able to replicate what they've done in the past and make it to the playoffs, you can just give Russell Wilson the MVP right now. I mean, he truly will be the most valuable player in the league for him to carry the Seahawks, considering their losses also along the offensive line. Now, Jerron Brown has gone to Seattle. You see that. They have some young running backs they like. But you get the Seattle Seahawks here in week 4.
Oh, yeah. Cam Chancellor, Richard Sherman, Michael Bennett. That was, along with Bobby Wagner. Throw Bobby Wagner in there. And Earl Thomas.
KJ Wright just got dinged up.
Those were the 5 beating hearts of the Legion of Boom.
We got the new running back in the game and a recent signing, Darius Victor, all 5'8", 210 pounds of him, and he just comes out of the gates like a bull.
Look at this. This is a fire hydrant with lips. Look at Victor and watch him run the ball right here. Look how low he is, Paulie. You want to get under him right now? You want to tackle those thighs? Look at this guy. That is a thick dude.
I mean, he's redefining low pad level right there. There's no doubt about that. 2-minute warning in the game and the preseason. 21-10 Broncos.
The Card by Gila River gives you the power to play your way. Sign up today at any Gila River location.
Well, we got 2 minutes to go in the preseason, 2 minutes to go in this game. And then it's decision time. We heard from Steve Keim in the third quarter. Very interesting. No doubt they have their eye on what other teams are doing as we get a pre-snap penalty.
False start. Offense number 80, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
What about now, Paulie? You want to look for a woman riding her bicycle with a basket and Toto in it. The witching hour is upon us. Oh my goodness, get out your broom right now.
Who was the guy a couple years ago? You said, look for the woman on the bicycle, and somebody actually started looking down on the
Dave.
Was that Dave?
Yeah.
He actually started looking.
David.
Is Dave regular season ready? I think that's the question.
Born ready.
Victor, Darius Victor, and he's met by a host of Broncos tacklers and driven backwards. How about the 49ers in the division? Let's take a quick look at the Niners, and we know what happened. Jimmy G came into the game, came on the scene, and he turned into Jimmy W. He's unbeaten in his career as a starting quarterback, and I tell you, they are a favorite sleeper pick in the NFL.
No doubt.
Do a lot of damage this year. I have serious questions about their defense, about playmakers on offense. But as we know, a top flight quarterback can mask a lot of weaknesses.
Yeah, I just want to see Jimmy G and the 49ers do it again, please.
There's Victor. They'll give him the carry again.
Wow.
He's just dragging tacklers up near the 35-yard line.
I can't get over. You look at Victor in the way he is built right here. I mean, you have to be kidding me, Paulie. Do you know how difficult that is to tackle a guy that thick and that low? When I say a fire hydrant with eyebrows, I mean it. Try to get underneath him. And then to have the thick lower body that he does. You know what, honestly, I'm looking at Victor and I'm saying, put that guy on the practice squad.
Well, there are 10 spots to go to guys on the practice squad. And Victor, after juggling the ball, takes a big hit. Just when he thought he was jack stomped at the 45, he kept his feet and got another couple yards.
Look at this guy. Give him the ball. Look at this right here. Boom, boom. Did he go down? No, he did not.
That's like Chase Edmonds on the goal line in the opener.
Wow. This guy has got my attention, and he's got Steve Wilkes' attention right now.
Hey, the ground stats brought to you by Toro. Count on it. Toro ground stats right there. The clock is going to tick off on the preseason. We have zeros up on the scoreboard as the Cardinals, with their first loss of the preseason, 21-10 against the Denver Broncos. Larry Fitzgerald, after one of the men to deliver a eulogy this morning at Senator McCain's service out there. Friends all over the NFL, no doubt.
You know what? I'm going to be honest, Paulie. I'm kind of glad they lost this last preseason game. To go 4-0 in the preseason, you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm comfortable with that. I don't know if I am.
I'm not going to disagree, put it that way. In fact, you know, the famous stat is the Lions team that went 0-16 went 4-0 in the preseason.
I just don't know if I'm comfortable.
And the only reason I bring that up is because, you know, historically there's been zero correlation between wins in August and wins through the rest of the season.
Yes.
All right, we'll come back with more recap this one. In fact, we're going to hear from Patrick Peterson when we come back. 21-10 is your final. Next stop is going to be the regular season. Mike Glennon got the first half. Charles Knauf the second half. Pete Twice on the other side.